Hello, everybody. I hope you all had an excellent Memorial Day weekend if you are in the United States, or just a good weekend anyway if you're anywhere else. On account of me getting stuck at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport this week, coming back from my Memorial Day festivities, I do not have an episode of Abandoned Ship ready yet today. I think I'll have one soon, but instead I wanted to show you this very amusing replay in the Tier 3 Japanese cruiser Katori. This is one of the most interesting ships in the game, and I honestly strongly recommend that everybody try this ship if they have the chance. I don't remember off the top of my head how much it costs. I'm sure it's very cheap. It's a Tier 3 premium. But this ship is just full of extremes. To start with, it is the slowest cruiser in the game, bar none, at 18 knots. That puts it in a tie with Mikasa and South Carolina as some of the slowest ships in the game. The only two slower ships are Langley and Komsomolets. But this is also one of 3 ships in the game that get access to Aiming Systems Modification Zero. And that improves the main battery turret traverse, the torpedo tubes turret traverse. For some reason, it improves secondary battery range, and most importantly, it improves the dispersion for main and secondary battery, which you can see right here. Out of 12 shots, but yeah, I missed that salvo there, but out of 12 shots on that French destroyer, I hit 11. And then I hit those 4 as well. The guns on this ship are obscenely accurate, and although most people would find Tier 3 very boring, I cannot recommend this ship enough. There's only 3 ships in the game that have access to Aiming Systems Modification Zero. That's this ship, that's the Tier 4 premium Japanese cruiser U-Body, and there's also the very rare Iwaki Alpha. Well, you're not getting your hands on that anytime soon, so... But, I know a lot of people are frustrated with, aim bugs and, weird aiming in this game. But if you're ever curious how the aiming actually works in this game, when you take away all the randomness, all the dispersion, the RNG, this ship is pretty much going to show you what to actually expect. As long as you're able to consistently hit shots in this ship, then you're aiming correctly. Your aiming is as good as you possibly could, because you're going to hit all, or at least 3 out of 4 of your guns every time. Another thing that's very special about this ship is it's the only Tier 3 ship to have a catapult fighter plane, which I just launched there so that I could maybe see the Aurora around the corner there and decide where to put my torpedoes. That is an extremely powerful asset. You wouldn't think so, because, how many CVs do you really see at Tier 3? I mean, you can certainly see a Tier 4 CV, and AA at this level is pretty bad, for certain. But the real reason that it's powerful is to allow you to see around islands so that you can maybe place very cheeky torpedoes like I just did and get very good kills. And then here we are back to gunboating, and, that Kolberg has way more shots per second than I do. However, he's not hitting the majority of them. I mean, he's getting some of those hits. And to be fair, I think I'm juking him out pretty well. I mean, I'll take some credit for that. But anytime I fire at him, I'm going to hit that. Not to mention that Katori is a lot smaller than a lot of other cruisers at this tier. I actually just learned today that she used to be, when this game was in beta, the Tier 1 tech tree cruiser before Hashidate was introduced. So that kind of explains that. I always wondered. It's a very silly, very low-key looking ship. But it also has a nice, sub 40-second reload on these torpedoes. Now, even though there's only 2 per side, they're still not useless, of course. I mean, I killed the Aurora there. And now it's just down to me and the enemy Kolberg. It's going to be a while before I get a chance to shoot at him, but... Oh, a Kraken and some fireworks to end off the match. I skipped ahead, of course. You saw this replay begin maybe halfway because this ship is just so slow. And we've all seen Tier 3 gameplay before. There's nothing there you haven't really seen. However, some of the torpedo and catapult fighter play you very well may not have seen at this tier before. So I was feeling pretty proud of that one, and I wanted to share with you. Good Kraken, 81,000 damage for Tier 3. That's phenomenal. Let's see if we can find out. I don't remember if it shows how many I fired versus how many hit. Oh yes, there's shells fired and there's how many hit. So if I grab my calculator really quick, that should be, I mean, I'm sure I could approximate it in my head. Yeah, that's 72% repeating, 72.72 repeating. So just a little under 3/4 accuracy. And these guns at Tier 3 are no slouch. I mean, they don't do an amazing amount of damage, but they're pretty much always going to penetrate. As a matter of fact, where can I see that? How many were penetrations versus... I don't think I can see that, but anyway. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Somebody had mentioned this ship to me a couple days ago, and the context was bad ships, like maybe a proposal for abandoned ship, but I actually think this ship is really good. I mean, there are some very weird characteristics about it, such as how slow it is. I have a feeling that the DPM is very anemic on paper. I'm sure it's not expected to do a lot of damage. It's certainly not every match that your torpedoes come in useful either. But I actually really like this ship. I think it's good for the price. I think it's nice that there is a ship in this game that removes so much of the dispersion from the formula, just so that you can kind of see what shots would look like in a perfect world. I know that just makes me feel better about the aiming and the gunfire in this game in general. So yeah, that's that. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget that today everyone's coal and steel ship coupons refresh. So if I'm not mistaken, that happens twice a year, and it happens at the same time for everybody. So if you have any coal or any steel saved up, in a couple hours you're going to get the opportunity to cash in that coupon. Obviously, me and everyone else would recommend that you save that for a steel ship, just because steel is such a precious resource in this game. Coal is as well. They're both more or less time limited resources, but at least coal you can earn passively, whereas steel you have to be playing certain modes or invest money into dockyards and battle passes. I mean, I only last week got enough steel to be able to purchase an expensive steel ship with the coupon. So, Shikishima is the one that I have my eyes on, 32,000 steel. And, 3/4 of that is 24,000, I'm sure. And I just barely crossed that threshold before I even had the coupon in my hands. So if you're interested in, guidance on what coal and steel ships are worth getting, I can't recommend enough Potato Qualities series on YouTube. He's been doing coverage on all the steel ships I think are done, and now he's starting with the coal ships. letting folks know, which of those are good investments. I think he makes very good points on those. Like I said, I'm eyeballing Shikishima because I like to collect Japanese ships, and I'd like to complete the Yamato class personally. And more importantly, I've discovered that Zhao, a ship that I actually really like, is unplayable without Yamamoto, without his improved grease the gears, improved turret traverse skill. I moved him onto Satsuma, and that's great and all, but now I can't play Zhao anymore because that's terrible. They move way too slow. So what I'm thinking about is, if I get Shikishima, then I won't need to have him on Yamato or Satsuma. I mean, I'll just have Shikishima, and that's a special ship. I can transfer him freely to that ship if I ever need to. But then I can have him parked on Zhao instead. But other than that, I mean, there's so many good ships out there. Incomparable is a meme, but, it's kind of like a cruiser with almost super Yamato guns. Mecklenburg, if you're looking for a special German battleship that is not the Grosser Kurfürst. Everyone says Bourgeon is one of the best ships in the game. Z-42 is a really good destroyer, and so is Ragnar if you don't already have Smolen. So yeah, it's going to be a hard choice, but don't forget to do that. All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.